You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yo, what's poppin'? And welcome back, friends, to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I do hope you're doing well, mate. Genuinely do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News-ish. I do want to talk about a couple of things in the news. Of course, the Club World Cup is at the end of the season. You could win 100 million big ones by winning that competition. I've seen the trophy. I'm getting a little bit more excited about it. I know there's cynical money-making FIFA ramifications, implications with this competition, overcooking the players, etc. But I do like the trophy. Talk about that. Cy Phillips on his Substack has spoken about something really interesting in what could be seen as a Jadon Sancho twist, which something I hadn't certainly considered. I will speak about that as well. And yeah, man, I want to spend some time in today's video speculating how much money we can generate in the summer should we sell players that we want to sell. There's a lot of players, a lot of players. With Joey Knight, I went through the squad. We audited the squad. We thought who's going to stay, who's going to go, yada, yada, yada. And I wonder if we sold the players we want to sell, and if we make conservative sale estimates, how much money could be generated for Chelsea. Remember, in a summer transfer window upcoming where apparently there's no financial rule breaches, apparently there is money to spend. You've got people like Fabrizio Romano saying Chelsea are going to spend big on a striker, yada yada yada. So we're going to get into all of it today. Thank you for joining me as always. Very pleased to see you here. Thank you for supporting the content. Super simples, mate. You just like the video, subscribe. If you think you want to come back here, why not subscribe and hit the bell? A little reminder that I upload daily content on the sister channel to this, or brother channel, whatever you want to call it, Football Yannick. Today I spoke about the Man City imminent decision on potential charges, and of course points deduction. Apparently, should they get them, they will accept them. So if you're interested in the non-Chelsea content, go check out Football Yannick. Let's get into it. First of all, I do want to speak about the Club World Cup trophy because it looks nice. It's not the conventional, trophy of old. It's circular. It looks like almost like globe thing, which is desired effect, really. It's doing the tour all over the gaff. Of course, it spent some time in the UK and went to Stamford Bridge. There's a photo shoot of it. We've won a Club World Cup, of course, under Tuchel recently, completing the set. Although, to completely complete the set, we need to win that glorious Conference League this season, then we truly will be the only club in world football who's won it all. We need to play some better football in the meantime, though, tell you that much for free. Look, man, I know, let's get it out of the way. It's a cynical money-making exercise that FIFA want to, juice up. Basically get that sweet UEFA money, the Champions League money, so they want to do a Club World Cup. I do like the Club World Cup because I think it's a cool opportunity to play, football teams from around the globe who have a really rich, amazing footballing culture. Like, it offers a unique opportunity for, these South American teams, these Brazilian, Argentinian teams that bleed football. They get an opportunity. Like, the Club World Cup, previously, in the middle of the season, that's like their Champions League before. Do you know what I mean? Because it's an opportunity to play Real Madrid and, the superstars. So these South American teams love it. It's going to, in a way, be even bigger now because it's not breaking our season. Yes, I know it's post-season, but teams will take it seriously because you can win a lot of money. And if we know one thing's for sure in this cynical world of financial football land, everyone wants that sweet dinero, man. They all want the money. So clubs will take it seriously. You will see your Cole Palmers, coming up against Esteval's playing for Palmeiras before he joins Chelsea. Real Madrid's, all the other big teams. Very, very exciting. And I must say, I was saying to, I can't remember if I was saying to Goldberg or Joey or in recent collabs, but imagine the palate cleansing mood lifter of, even if we reach our targets this season, say we scrape into 5th, and to be honest, if we end the season, Reece James lifting the conference and we've qualified for the Champions League, I'm feeling good, man. But even if just doing really well in the Club World Cup, Palmer starts cooking again, dunking on Real Madrid and, Man City, and it will make the world look at Chelsea going, they got a bunch of good young players. Maybe they can click, and it's an opportunity. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Chelsea's the great unknown at the moment, but it's an opportunity to really get some positive momentum and optics going into next season. So, yeah. Before we do this squad sale calculation game, which I'm hoping my brain will be able to take. Let's talk about this situation with Jadon Sancho. Bless him. First of all, nailing my colours to the mast. I like Jadon Sancho. I think he's an amazing talent. He has these moments where he demonstrates how skillful he is. Of course, come up through cage football. He's played in Champions League finals. He's, did he win the cup final with Dortmund? Has he won a trophy? He certainly, he's got England caps. He's still only 25, just turned 25. Literally, great player. I'm very happy for him to stay at Chelsea. I do have sympathy for him in terms of his form seems to have dropped off a little bit when everyone else's form has dropped off, but he's a bit of a target at the moment. He commented a freedom on Rashford's social media post at Villa, which probably is ill-advised, didn't help him, all this kind of stuff. And yeah, his form's dropped off. He started very well, but I mean, for the money, for 25 million quid, for him reducing his wages, homegrown quota in terms of being a young Englishman, generally being the type of profile Maresca likes, I like him, but I don't necessarily think this 25 million pound winger should be Chelsea's starting left winger. But I'd be very happy for him to be this rotational option who can hopefully demonstrate his ability as the team gets better. So there's me nailing my colours to the mast here. But Cy Phillips wrote on his Substack, his Chelsea news service, and this has been published on chelsea.news since, that of course there's this story going around that there's that Chelsea could send Sancho back to Man United, but of course because in the current deal there's an obligation to sign him, that there will be a penalty fee, right? And we can only speculate what that penalty fee is. So some people are like saying, if it's £10 million, if you send them back, if you don't buy them, you got to pay a penalty of 10 million quid, which, they get their player back, they make 10 million plus the loan fee, plus half the wages we're paying. So it's probably a good deal for Man United and stuff like that. But yeah, Cy Phillips is insinuating here that Chelsea might sign him with the obligation for 25 million to potentially, and he's speculating here, like this could be a scenario, to sell Jadon Sancho for 20 million. So making a £5 million loss, which of course, in the instance of if the penalty fee from Man United is, say, for example, 10 million, you're only losing 5 million. And to be honest, some other club will be signing Jadon Sancho for 20 million pounds, which I'm sorry, it's just an amazing deal. I know like he might not be in form and you got to accommodate his style and whatever your opinions are on him, this guy Man United bought him a couple of years ago for 75 million pounds and he's yet to enter his prime. Like, if it doesn't work for Chelsea, you can work for someone. Someone will be getting a great deal there. But it's interesting to hear that that perspective that Chelsea will buy him to sell him on a loss because it might be less than the penalty that Man United save for a fine. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Like I said, I like him. I don't think he's necessarily a starter. I've got nothing against him becoming that starter because I've seen, what is immense talent. Let's be real. Let's move on. All right, so I think a big summer of sales for Chelsea yet again, because apparently that's what we do every ruddy summer window. Well, not every, actually most summer windows. I'm going to go through some players that I think we can sell. I'm going to add it up on a calculator, and we're going to try and be conservative and talk about a generated fee here. Now, I'm going to start with loanees and then go through the current squad of players that are probably going to go. Obviously, Mike Penders we're going to keep. I think Alfie Gilchrist, we all love him. Yeah, Alfie, we do. Proper Chelsea, having fairly decent loan at Sheffield, I think. I think we're going to sell him, and I think he is worth £10 million. I think he's a young player. He's 21 years old. He's played in the Premier League. He's got this versatility. I reckon he's worth 10 million, personally. I think Bashir Humphreys is 22. Chelsea do like him. He has been involved with Chelsea, I think centre-back and left-back. But again, I think we sell Bashir Humphreys. Personally, he could go on another loan, but he's doing these developmental loans now. I think Chelsea will look to sell him. Again, I'm going to say 10 million, so 20 million pounds generated. I think Caleb Wiley won't be sold. I don't think he'll be integrated into Chelsea, but I think he'll be used as a loan signing. 1 second. My bad. So we've gone through a couple players there. Caleb Wiley won't go. David Washington, I think we're going to make a loss on him. But again, I'm going to say, I think we bought him for best part of 20 million euros. I think he'll be cut as a sort of loss. I'm actually going to say as well, David Washington sold, possibly back to Santos for 10 million. So they'll get their player back. I think he's back on loan there at the moment, but they would have made some money from Chelsea. So 30 million quidsies already. Now, Renato Veiga, 21-year-old Portuguese international that we bought for 11 million or under 11 million. I think he's been starting competitive games for Portugal. He's gone to Juventus. They like him out there. I think he's worth 30 million quid. So I think Chelsea have nearly tripled their money on him. He will be sold. I don't see us using him as a centre-back like he wants to be sold. So I'm going to add an extra 30. It's 30 on 30. That's 60 million quid. Pounds sterling. And we'll get to that geezer in a bit. So that's what I think. Kepa Arrizabalaga, I think if Bournemouth get Europa League, even Conference, I think they'll buy him. I do. It said Transfermarkt's listing him as 11 million euros. I don't believe that for a second, because his contract runs out and it'll be in 12 months, and he's got big wages. I think 5 million. I know it sounds mental, but I think there might be a clause in there as well, and that might be conservative 5 million, but it might be making 5 million pounds for a player that you might not have made anything for. Chelsea might try and rinse that, but again, we're doing conservative estimates here. Now, Armando Broja, he has to go on loan again, because I said to Joey the other day, he's such a distressed asset at the moment in terms of value because he's been injured. He could be a great player, Broja. Yeah, his value's so down. You'd be mental to sell him, because if he gets fit, plays a good season, he could be worth 5 times the amount you sell him for in terms of his current value. Because at the moment, you sell Broja for 10 million quid. And only that, he's only in double digits because you know that this kid could be good. But Chelsea wanted like 40, 50 million quid. Do you know what I mean? So you got to wait. You got to wait on Broja. Raheem Sterling. Oh, the pain. He'll have 2 years left on this deal. He's 30 years old. He is high profile. He's listed as 15 million. If you sell him to Saudi, you're getting 20 million quid for him. But if he goes to Saudi, hey kitty. Oh my god. I think we'll probably loan him again, but then again, guys, I'm gonna say we sell Raheem Sterling for 15 million quid, which and there might be ramifications in terms of like lowering his wage or us, helping with wages. Carney Chukwuemeka we won't sell because again he's a depreciated asset that's worth more than he's currently performing as. Hopefully we can get him another loan back to Dortmund. So there's no sale there in my mind. Ben Chilwell. Apparently he's like, the reports suggest that he's like the one example of a player that Chelsea will just loan to get him football because of some sympathy. I don't know. He's not going to play for Chelsea. I'm going to say Ben Chilwell. Again, he's listed here as 18 million euros. I'm going to say 15 million quid. We hopefully get a sale. I really hope for Ben he can get a move somewhere and play some football. Of course, Santos isn't going to be sold. I'm going to say Leslie Ugochukwu isn't sold either. I think he's going to get a loan because, of course, we've just signed a new defensive midfielder. We might sell him, Leslie, but I wonder because he's only 20 years old, Chelsea really rate him highly. They probably feel like another loan and then a good sale, so I don't think he's going to be sold. Of course, Santos isn't going to be sold. Axel Disasi, I'm going to say we sell for... I'm going to go a bit niche here and say 22 million. So add that. Well, by the way, one more loanee, and I'll tell you what we're on. Joao Felix. There is talk from Nizar Kinsella of the BBC that Joao Felix could be reintegrated back into Chelsea because if there's no takers. And I don't think, actually, personally, that Maresca would be against that. I think he'd probably look at it and be like, yeah, he's a good player and, he could train more and fit into the the style, and we definitely could have used him. I know he's had a poor time at Milan, but we could definitely have used him since that window. He could have absolutely helped us in certain games, and he would have been played. He would have been a starter for both the Copenhagen games, and maybe those first halves wouldn't have been turgid. But look, we paid 45 million euros, 37 million pounds. Is that right? Something like that. So we'll make a loss on him. His market value is listed as 30 million here. If we sold him to, of course, Saudi, you won't go there. MLS, you won't go there. Maybe you could get 30 million if a Galatasaray or Fenerbahce or someone said, "Ooh, 25-year-old Felix," but he can't. His contract goes to 2031, so he's on one of the long ones. Yeah, I think. Oh man, I think he'll be bummed out if he comes back. So we'll force a sale. I think. I have to say 30 million for Joao Felix. I have to say 30 million. I can't do less than that. Okay, so, right, these are the low knees. Just the low knees that we've done. Relatively conservative. Of course, it's easier said than done to do all that. But we're on 147 million pounds from the low knees, yeah? So we're going to rattle through some of the squad now, the registered playing squad. And, of course, goalkeepers. Look, Bettinelli's not going anywhere. Bergstrom will probably be loaned. Sanchez is 27, going on 28. Jorgensen's 5 or 6 years younger. I think we'll keep Philip Jorgensen. Sanchez himself said, "Look, if I'm not number one, I'll look to go elsewhere." Apparently, I think Joey said that. Quote, I think that's correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Rob Sanchez, I think, will be sold for Georgi Petrovic, or indeed Georgi Petrovic, and the hope that Penders becomes a superstar. I've got nothing against Sanchez, apart from I just don't want him playing for Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? You won't make much for him. We overpaid for him. It turns out 25 million quid. How much do you sell Sanchez for? 15 million? 15 million quid. Yeah, let's say that. And that's the goalkeepers done. We're going to, of course, keep Cucurella. I don't see Tosin going anywhere. A bit of a leader. Although, of course, any money Chelsea sell Tosin for is profit, because we got him on a free transfer. But I don't see him going. I don't see Badiashile going. I don't see Levi Colwill going. Very interesting to hear about maybe the narrative change of Trevoh Chalobah, but I do think we're going to buy a centre-back. And again, it's very sad, of course, but he is pure profit. I do think Trevoh Chalobah will be sold. I think he will be sold for something like £22 million, provided he gets an agreeable landing spot, Champions League club, like he wanted to go to Bayern Munich before. So I'm going to say 22 million for Trevoh Chalobah. I'm not trying to sell him, guys. I'm just trying to forecast what I think will happen. I don't think Gusto will go, although Joey thought maybe he would go. Fofana, obviously not going. Aaron Anselmino's got loan all over it. Joshua Chimpong, I think he might have a loan rather than first team squad. Fernandez, of course, there's the Real Madrid story. And maybe Chelsea's resolve will be tested, knowing they've got Andre Santos to play a very similar role, leadership as well, and that number 8 goal scorer. I don't think, unless Real Madrid wave 100 million in front of Chelsea, they'll sell Fernandez, so I don't see that happening. Keenan Dewsbury Hall, sadly, bless it, my Doocy going. We spent 30 million on him. We'll make a loss. He's a very good operator, but I'm going to say we sell him for, he's only 25, 26, but I'm going to say 20 million plus 20. So we will make a loss, but it is what it is. And again, you might think more, but I mean, he hasn't done anything to increase his value. So I'll say 20 million. Caicedo, of course, staying. Kellyman will stay and recover his injury and maybe get a 6-month loan next January. Matissa Mugu's going to Strasbourg. Romeo Lavia staying at Chelsea. Get to the wingers. So there's not much left here. Pedro Neto, of course, will stay. Versatile player, can literally play left, right, forward. So even if he's underperforming, that versatility is a great asset. Mudryk, he either doesn't get banned and we integrate him a little bit and try and either build up his value or integrate him as a Chelsea player again, or he doesn't play. I mean, we've already been linked with another right-footed winger. I think Noni Madueke stays. There are people who Joey was like, yeah, he's definitely staying when we did the squad audit. He's a high-scoring winger. I think Maresca likes him, so I think he does stay. But there was talk with Esteval coming in, targeting other wingers, that Noni, Chelsea could sell him for, we bought him for 28, 29 million, that Newcastle will buy him for 50 million, and start him as a right winger. Maybe, but other than that, I don't see. Of course, Jackson's going nowhere. Palmer's going nowhere. I think Tyreek George will stay with the squad, even though I think Josh Chiampong might get loaned. I think Gu might get loaned. We've spoken about Sancho. And then, of course, there's maybe the biggest sellable asset in the group that almost certainly will go, and that's, of course, in the shape of Christopher Nkunku. Now, Chelsea, for some reason, feel like they can make a big profit on him, despite his 2 years at Chelsea being... One was entirely injured, and the second one was out of favour, out of position. So I don't know how they feel like they can make a profit on him. I think he cost 50 million. They wanted Bayern to pay like 65, 70 in January. No chance. I'm going to do another conservative estimate here, and I'm going to say 50 million money back. Of course... Amazing player, amazing finisher, high profile. He's got this branding as well of his balloon, which clubs like, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to say plus 50 as well. So in sales alone, Chelsea will of course have generated money from hopefully qualifying for the Champions League, some form of Europe. In player sales alone, this number from loanees and the first team squad that we've done a conservative estimate is £254 million. If we generate £254 million, that will be, you'd have to say, that would be ruddy good going. I've had fun doing this. 254. Let me know what you think, guys. If you agree with me or disagree with me with player valuations or players that will be sold or won't be sold, leave your thoughts down in the comments. But I had fun today, so thanks as always for joining me here on the channel. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Back every day, so hope to see you back here soon. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace.